Alright, just rocked up at Bridgestone in Coomera here, and we are getting some work done to the front of the car. We're going to do some brand new brake rotors, brand new brake pads, brand new bearings, and also we're doing a brake caliper rebuild kit. I want the front of this car to, work really well and efficient without any issues. What did happen earlier was the brakes were literally seized on, and you can see here the grease that is under massive boiling pressure has kind of popped the seal and come out of this bearing and spewed all over the wheel here. So that's because the brakes were pretty much jammed on. I did manage to release the pistons and drive it around for a week, and it's been fine. It hasn't heated up since. But these guys will stick on some brand new stuff for me, so I never have to worry about it again. So I'm leaving it here, and fingers crossed it's here when it's finished and doesn't get stolen or smashed or anything. But a bit worried leaving my baby with someone else for the first time, but I'm sure she'll be right. I'm gonna get some Dirty Bird and then Uber home. Alright, picking her up after all the work's done to it. So all the front's been done, new rotors, piston brake kit, brakes have been completely overhauled, new rotors, new pads, all that kind of stuff. So let's give it its first little test drive back home. I'm expecting it to be quiet at the front and all nice to drive, so let's give this a go. Alright, so just poking under the car here, I made it home. The car drove real well, which is wonderful. And you can see there the pistons are pretty much brand spanking. And you can see right up in there, new brake pads, and right there, the new rotor. She drove really well, which is expected, given it's all new. So, I guess what's left to do now is continue on with little things like trying to put the stereo in. I need to make a little centered dash bit for that. And also, there was something else I had to do. Oh, that's right. Yeah, my GPS speedo was not quite right. So I messaged the guy on eBay and he said, oh boy, that's a little bit odd. It must be the GPS module. And he just happily and freely said, I'll send you a new one. And I was expecting just to get the module, but he actually sent me a whole new tacho. So I may as well just change the actual speedo and the GPS module, just in case it's one or the other that's actually faulty. So I can do that easily because all that's required is the plug in the back, and I've already got this piece wired up into the console of the car, so I should be able to just plug in the console to the back of that and put the GPS speedo there, or the GPS module, and it should work. So we're going to install this now real quick and give it a test and see if this speedo works correctly. Oh boy, now I've got to pull this dash off again, which I'm not overly keen about. Yeah, it's not that hard, it's just annoying. Oh well, better get started. Alright, we're going to take it for a quick drive, just to see if that fixed it. I hope it did, because that's a new cluster and a new GPS reader, so fingers crossed. Alright, so it's found its satellites. So she's zeroed out on the trip meter. Let's see if it picks up Alright, so that's wonderful news. The speedo now works absolutely fine, so I'm happy with that. You can't even see the GPS modules up there, so I'm just going to leave them there. And the clock now says 75,000 Ks, which is where it should be, because that's what the chassis kilometers was. So that's what it is now set to on there. So I'm going to try and continue on with this radio piece down here. Try and get some kind of head unit in. I've already got the speakers installed, and the wiring's just kind of bird nests back there. But if I can get a little head unit down in this little area, I'll be pretty happy. Right, I've cut out a little panel out of some of this 3mm plywood stuff, and the little tiny head unit case fits in there really snug. I had to do some filing on it just to get it to fit real nice. So that is in. So I'm happy with that. One good thing about these new head units, especially if you don't need a CD player, is they're really, really, really light. There's no weight in that at all, so I'm not too fussed about only having a couple of mounts up in the top side of this to keep this head unit in place. There might be a little bit of wobble back and forth, and if there is, I might be able to, I don't know, make a little bracket somewhere that kind of, you know, holds it a bit firmer. But as far as just as a test fit into the car, they're so light, it's not going to put much pressure on this. So I'm going to spray this up, let it dry, and then see how we go with wiring the head unit in, which shouldn't be too hard. I know where all the wires are. Alright, so we're good as we've got a head unit installed. Speakers are doing what they're doing. That's really, really cool. It's got a remote, so I don't have to be pressing the head unit, although I probably will because it's right there. Finding the remotes sometimes a little bit annoying, but I've stored a couple of channels already. It sounds good. The aerial's doing its job, which is really, really sweet, this little eBay aerial. It's not even extended at all, and I'm getting a really good reception, so that's good. It's also a Bluetooth head unit, so I get to use my phone and listen to my Spotify music, and I installed a little speaker there, or a mic should I say, and ran it down the rubber sill and underneath to the head unit, so if I get a call I can just chitter-chat without caring too much about the phone. But yeah, no, this is doing really well. Put some music on. So yeah, she's working, got some beats. Tell you what, for two 6-inches, they pack a punch. That's really, really good. There's some, I don't know, just I think like $120 a set. Roxford Fosgate, I think, is their brand. And just a little Kenwood Bluetooth head unit. So I'm really chuffed with that. I still have to put my top panel back on here because I forgot to do it, which means I've got to take all the dash and lean it down again. It's a pain in the butt. Speedometer works, which is great, which is kind of the main reason I have to pull the dash apart. So I'm just going to finish mounting up the top dash here. You can see there's a bit of a gap there. I got to lift it up a tad more and find a way of mounting this top panel. You can see it's a bit wobbly. And that's really about it. So today's been a pretty good day for getting things done. I'm falling over. Head units in, new brakes, rotors, new brake piston calipers, new bearings, of course, they're all in the car. So I'm going to just touch up a few things, and I'm probably going to go for a drive. So thanks for watching. There might be some photos at the end if I find a nice place to take some pics. Alright, just before I head off, Aaron just got back from work and he showed me one of the dashes that he covered for Dylan in Western Australia. Check this thing out. Actually, you can't really see it very well on the black, but it's alright. It's actually come up better than mine, which is absolutely fine, but damn, this is nice. That red stitch that goes all the way along the cluster and the glove box looks absolutely awesome. The suede is, I think, a slightly different type of suede I used on mine, and it's so soft and nice. All the little tiny mount holes are still in place where they need to be.
Damn, man. I hope you're happy with that. I wonder if you'd notice if I put this in my car and I sent you my one. Nah, I wouldn't do that to you. Oh well, GG's, man. Hope you enjoy.